Thank you so much to those of you who give me suggestions of what you'd like to hear about. I'm going to talk about allergies, and that is thanks to a suggestion that someone messaged me with. And allergies, it's very interesting. Allergies come from a poor gut. That sounds maybe crazy, but think about it for a minute. When I was a kid, EpiPens were not a thing. And you didn't run into people that had these life-threatening allergies except maybe once in a blue moon. I certainly had nobody at my school, my elementary school, that was anaphylactic to peanuts or anything else. Fast forward to today, one of my clients is a Sunday school teacher, and in her classroom of 3-year-olds, she has to keep 13 EpiPens on hand because so many of these kids have life-threatening allergies. How has that happened? Well, our guts get compromised by several different things. Number one is antibiotic use. And if you think to yourself, well, I haven't had that many antibiotics, some of that is we use antibiotics a lot more, like what we consider is normal. Oh, I only take them once a year, or oh, I only take them once every 3 years. That's a lot, actually. So antibiotics do that. Now, let's say you're one of the few that rarely takes an antibiotic. Well, if you eat animal protein, you're getting antibiotics. Animal use of antibiotics in animals raised for human consumption is one of the biggest industries for antibiotic use. So you're getting it through the meat that you eat. If you drink water that's not filtered, you're going to get these and other medications in the water that you drink. So there's a lot of places that these toxic loads have filtered into our lives. Besides antibiotics, glyphosate, which is the active ingredient in Roundup. Holy cow. Think to yourself, how much has glyphosate increased in our environment in the last 20 years? Crazy. When I started doing this in 1990, people did not treat their lawns. Schools did not treat the grounds with weed killers. Definitely we had it in crops, but it was not as rampantly used as it is today. So today you've got weed killers in almost every neighborhood, almost every sports playing field that your child is playing on. They're used so much in agriculture that even organic farms are being contaminated. You cannot escape from glyphosate. Back in the day, it was taught that glyphosate would not last in the environment. And so it was like, woohoo, free reign. This is a miracle, let's wipe out these weeds. But now we know it does persist, and it persists for a long time. So the more we hamper our guts, the more allergic we become in general. So what are you going to do about it? I want to give you a super simple recipe, and I want to quote you a couple of statistics. So about 13 years ago, I was following an osteopathic doctor in the UK, and he was specializing in the gut. And I've traveled to Denver to hear him speak, and he presented this apple gut recipe, stewed apples. And now a lot of people since have used this and taken credit for it, but it really came from Michael Ash, the osteopath in the UK. And so what he found is when his patients started eating these stewed apples every day, their actual lab markers for inflammation began to change for the better. They were able to lower anti-inflammatory medications that they were taking because of this. Their gut was functioning better. They were pooping better. They lost weight. Their moods were uplifted, and the gut bacteria itself showed a positive change. So these were measurable lab results, and you can look him up, Michael Ash, DO from the UK, and you can read about it. So here's the recipe for this stewed apple, and you've got to eat some every day. So you take 6 cooking apples and you cut them into like 1-inch pieces. You put in a pot with half a cup of purified water. And if you like, you can add half a cup of raisins. If you like, you can add up to 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And you're going to bring it to a boil and reduce just to keep it at a simmer, and stir it frequently. Keep simmering for 15 minutes until it gets kind of mushy. You can eat it hot, you can eat it cold. About a half a cup a day is going to do the trick for you. And the concoction will last for 3 days in your fridge. So just make that a little dessert that you have every day. And over time, you're going to see that gut improve. There are other things you can do to help your gut. You might be able to see behind me this wall of products with the white labels with blue. That comes from a company called Cellcore. The link to Cellcore is in the link tree in our bio. But Cellcore has deeper acting gut remedies that work on parasites, work on probiotics, enzymes. So if you want to take a deeper approach, you can do that. But start with the apple recipe and then build on that. If you need help, DM me. I'm happy to help you set up a Cellcore protocol that would be appropriate for you. But when you heal that gut, your allergies are going to get a lot better.